Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and instantly command attention, not by being loud or flashy, but through a quiet, almost palpable sense of presence? They don't chase validation. They radiate a calm strength that draws others in. In a world constantly clamoring for attention, where everyone feels the pressure to do more, be more, and talk more just to be noticed, what if the secret to true magnetism lies in doing less, specifically, and letting go, and choosing not to react to every little thing? This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about cultivating an inner fortress of calm that makes you profoundly powerful and genuinely attractive dot in the midst of our complex lives, balancing career ambitions, navigating intricate relationships, and grappling with the relentless demands of modern society. How often do you feel truly centered, unshakable, and completely in control of your emotional landscape? For many of us in the 35 to 45 age range, the relentless pursuit of external approval and the constant reactivity to every perceived slight can feel utterly exhausting. We yearn for a deeper sense of self-possession, a quiet confidence that doesn't need to prove anything. What if the path to that unwavering inner strength and the magnetic presence that comes with it is found in the ancient practice of intentional detachment and non-reactivity? Are you ready to step off the emotional roller coaster and reclaim your power? For years, you might have believed that being highly responsive, intensely emotional, or constantly on was the way to connect, to be seen, to be valued. But what if that very approach is actually draining your energy, clouding your judgment, and pushing authentic connection further away? True influence and genuine attraction aren't about chasing. They're about radiating. If you're ready to discover how cultivating a profound sense of inner calm and choosing your responses wisely can make you incredibly compelling, then prepare to transform your entire approach to life and relationships. Welcome to StoicCraft, where we explore timeless wisdom to help you forge an unshakable mind and live a life of profound purpose and impact. Today, we're diving deep into 7 powerful reasons why embracing detachment and non-reactivity, rooted in Stoic principles, will not only bring you immense inner peace, but also make you profoundly more attractive and influential in every facet of your life. 1. Non-reactivity is the ultimate magnetism. Imagine 2 individuals. The first is a person who instantly reacts to every piece of news, every comment, every minor inconvenience. Their emotions are on full display, their moods shifting with every external stimulus. The second person, when faced with the same situations, remains calm, listens intently, and responds with a thoughtful pause. Which person are you more drawn to? Which person exudes a deeper sense of power and control? The answer, almost universally, is the second. In a world where emotional volatility is rampant, where people are quick to anger, quick to complain, and quick to give up, the individual who can remain composed, rational, and unshakable stands out like a beacon. This isn't because they are cold or unfeeling. It's because their inner stillness communicates profound strength, a rare and deeply appealing quality. Think about the most respected leaders, mentors, or even just friends you admire. Do they fly off the handle at the slightest provocation? Or do they possess a quiet gravitas that anchors the room? True magnetism doesn't come from being the loudest or the most dramatic. It comes from being the most grounded. When you stop reacting impulsively, you immediately signal to the world that you are not easily swayed, not easily manipulated, and not dependent on external validation for your emotional state. This quiet confidence creates an aura of reliability and wisdom. People subconsciously seek out stability in others, especially when their own lives feel chaotic. When you embody non-reactivity, you become that anchor for yourself and by extension for those around you. You don't have to chase attention or prove your worth. Your presence itself becomes an undeniable statement of self-possession. So how do you cultivate this ultimate magnetism? It starts with mindful pauses. The next time you feel an emotional surge, anger, frustration, defensiveness, resist the immediate urge to react. Take a deep breath. Create a tiny space between the stimulus and your response. In that space, you reclaim your power. You choose to respond with intention rather than being dragged along by raw emotion. This isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about not letting them control your actions. When you consistently practice this, you don't just become more attractive. You become an embodiment of true inner strength, a person whose calm presence draws others in like a powerful, silent force. 2. You reclaim your energy. Think about how much mental and emotional energy you expend each day reacting to things you cannot control. The frustrating traffic, an irritating email, a critical comment on social media, a slight misunderstanding. Each of these often triggers a cascade of internal dialogue, emotional turmoil, and physical tension. You replay scenarios in your head, rehearse arguments, or dwell on perceived injustices. This constant reactivity is an enormous, often unnoticed, drain on your most precious resource, your vital life energy. When you are constantly reacting, you are essentially giving away pieces of yourself. Every time you allow someone else's actions or an external event to dictate your mood, your focus, or your inner peace, you are surrendering your autonomy. You become a puppet on strings, pulled this way and that by the external world, leaving you feeling exhausted, depleted, and emotionally frayed by the end of the day. The Stoics understood this profoundly. They taught that true wealth is not an abundance of possessions, but an abundance of inner peace and self-control. By cultivating detachment, not coldness, but a discerning distance from external outcomes and other people's opinions, you stop allowing these external forces to siphon off your energy. Consider a person who, upon receiving a passive-aggressive email, doesn't immediately launch into a furious mental rebuttal or a reactive reply. Instead, they read it, acknowledge the feeling it evokes, and then calmly decide on the most effective, unperturbed response, or perhaps even no response at all. This person retains their inner equilibrium and conserves their mental energy. The person who reacts impulsively, on the other hand, spends the next few hours stewing, replaying the scenario, and feeling drained. This principle is about becoming a guardian of your own inner resources. When you choose not to react to every petty slight, every minor inconvenience, or every piece of unsolicited criticism, you reclaim that energy. This freed up energy can then be redirected toward what truly matters: your goals, your relationships, your personal growth, and creating a life of purpose. So, How do you reclaim your energy? Start by identifying your common triggers. What types of situations or comments consistently provoke an immediate draining reaction? Once you're aware of them, begin to practice a conscious pause. When you feel the familiar surge of reactive energy, tell yourself, I choose not to give my energy to this. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself that your inner peace is more valuable than winning a trivial argument or being validated by external circumstances. Every time you successfully choose non-reaction, you are not just saving energy. You are building a reservoir of inner strength that will serve you profoundly in every aspect of your life. This is the art of strategic self-preservation. 3. You gain clarity when you are caught in the throes of an immediate emotional reaction. Anger, fear, frustration. Your judgment becomes incredibly clouded. It's like trying to navigate a complex maze in a dense fog. Your thinking becomes impulsive, short-sighted, and often irrational. You might say things you later regret, make decisions that are not in your best long-term interest, or miss crucial details because your mind is overwhelmed by the emotional storm. Non-reactivity, conversely, acts like a powerful defogger for your mind. When you create that vital space between a stimulus and your response, you allow your rational faculties to kick in. You give yourself the opportunity to see the situation as it truly is, stripped of the distortions that intense emotion often creates. This clarity is an invaluable asset in every area of life, from navigating challenging conversations to making critical business decisions. The Stoics were fervent advocates for reason. They believed that our unique human capacity for rational thought was our greatest gift, and that true wisdom came from using reason to guide our actions, rather than being slaves to our passions. When you are detached and non-reactive, you are operating from a place of reason, not raw emotion. Consider a tense negotiation. The highly reactive individual might blurt out an offer based on frustration, or react angrily to a perceived insult, thereby jeopardizing the entire deal. The non-reactive negotiator, however, observes the situation, listens carefully, acknowledges their internal feelings without acting on them, and then formulates a response based on logic, strategy, and long-term objectives. Who is more likely to achieve a favorable outcome? The one who sees clearly, of course. This clarity extends beyond external situations to your inner world as well. When you're not constantly reacting to every passing thought or emotion, you gain a deeper understanding of your own patterns, your own triggers, and the underlying beliefs that drive your reactions. This self-awareness is the foundation of genuine personal growth. So how do you cultivate this profound clarity? Practice mindful observation. When a challenging situation arises, instead of immediately engaging with it emotionally, step back mentally. Imagine you are an impartial observer, simply noting what is happening, both externally and within your own mind. Ask yourself, what is the true nature of this situation, separate from my immediate feelings about it? This deliberate pause allows the fog of emotion to dissipate, revealing the path forward with remarkable clarity. When you consistently practice non-reactivity, you don't just respond better. You perceive better, understand better, and navigate life with a sharpened sense of purpose and direction. 4. You command respecting a world where attention is a scarce commodity and validation is often desperately sought. Genuine respect is a powerful currency, and paradoxically, one of the most effective ways to earn it isn't by demanding it, or by being aggressive, or by constantly trying to prove yourself. It's by demonstrating unshakable composure and non-reactivity. Think about someone who is easily rattled, who reacts emotionally to every criticism or challenge. Do you truly respect their judgment or their leadership? Or do you see them as unstable, unpredictable, and perhaps even a little weak? Conversely, consider a person who, even under immense pressure or personal attack, remains calm, speaks thoughtfully, and doesn't get drawn into petty squabbles. This individual commands an unspoken respect. Their very presence communicates an inner strength and self-possession that is deeply admirable. The Stoics emphasize the importance of inner virtue and self-mastery. They understood that true authority comes not from external power or a loud voice, but from the quiet dignity of a mind that is disciplined and controlled. When you are non-reactive, you demonstrate that your worth is not dependent on others' opinions, and that your emotional state is not at the mercy of external events. This level of self-mastery is incredibly rare and profoundly impressive. People are drawn to those who are stable. They trust those who are calm under pressure. They listen to those who speak with intention, rather than blurting out every impulsive thought. When you are non-reactive, you are perceived as someone who thinks before they speak, who acts with purpose, and who is not easily manipulated. This builds a powerful reputation of reliability and integrity. Consider a professional setting. During a heated debate, one team member raises their voice, gets defensive, and becomes visibly agitated. Another team member, however, listens patiently, waits for a natural pause, and then calmly presents their well-reasoned argument without any emotional charge. Who will be taken more seriously? Who will be remembered for their intellectual contribution rather than their emotional display? So how do you cultivate this respect-commanding presence? It starts with intentional silence and thoughtful pauses. Before you speak, ask yourself, is this necessary? Is this kind? Is this useful? Before you react, take a breath and allow your emotions to simply be observed, not acted upon. Practice active listening, giving others your full, calm attention, without formulating your rebuttal. Every time you choose composure over chaos, you are quietly building a reputation for wisdom, strength, and unwavering reliability. This isn't about being aloof. It's about being profoundly in control, and that is a quality that inherently commands deep, lasting respect. 5. You become harder to manipulate. One of the most insidious forms of control in human interactions is manipulation, often achieved through emotional triggers. A manipulator relies on your predictable reactions, your anger, your fear, your need for approval, your insecurity, to push your buttons and guide you toward their desired outcome. If you are highly reactive and easily swayed by external validation or criticism, you become an open book, a pawn in someone else's game. Non-reactivity, from a Stoic perspective, is your ultimate shield against manipulation. When you are emotionally detached, not uncaring, but unswayed by impulsive emotional surges, you strip manipulators of their most potent weapon. They can try to provoke you, flatter you, or guilt-trip you, But if you don't react predictably, their tactics fall flat. Your calm, thoughtful response, or lack thereof, breaks their pattern and forces them to confront a truly formidable opponent, someone who cannot be controlled. The Stoics recognized that our freedom lies in our internal world, particularly in our judgments and our reactions. If someone can provoke you into an angry outburst, they effectively control you in that moment. If they can make you insecure, they can then lead you to seek their approval. But when you are non-reactive, you maintain your inner fortress. You are simply unavailable for manipulation. Consider a master chess player. They don't react impulsively to every move their opponent makes. They anticipate, they calculate, and they move with intention. They understand that every move is a part of a larger strategy. Similarly, when you are non-reactive, you are playing the long game in life. You see beyond the immediate emotional provocation and act with strategic wisdom rather than falling into someone else's trap. This principle is about recognizing that your emotional state is your property, not a playground for others. It's about building an inner boundary that protects your peace and your autonomy. When you are detached from the need for external approval or the fear of others' disapproval, you become profoundly independent. So how do you become harder to manipulate? Begin by practicing self-awareness. Notice when someone is trying to provoke a reaction in you. Recognize the subtle tactics, the veiled insults, the guilt trips, the flattery designed to extract something from you. Once you're aware of the manipulation attempt, consciously choose not to engage. You can respond with a neutral statement, a question that shifts the focus back to them, or simply a calm silence. Remember, your silence can be your most powerful tool. It denies the manipulator the reaction they crave, leaving them disarmed and frustrated. This isn't about being rude. It's about protecting your inner sovereignty. When you consistently practice this, you don't just avoid manipulation. You cultivate an inner power that makes you truly unassailable. 6. You build inner peace. The relentless pursuit of happiness in our modern world often leads to its inverse: chronic anxiety and dissatisfaction. We chase fleeting pleasures, external achievements, and the approval of others, constantly believing that if only I had X, then I would be happy. But this external dependence makes our inner peace incredibly fragile, dependent on circumstances that are largely beyond our control. When things don't go our way, our peace shatters. Non-reactivity, however, offers a path to genuine, enduring inner peace. A peace that is not dependent on external conditions. When you stop allowing every external stimulus, every piece of news, every passing comment, or every unexpected setback to dictate your emotional state, you create a profound sense of inner calm. Your peace comes from within, from your own self-mastery, rather than from a world that is inherently unpredictable and often chaotic. The Stoics sought ataraxia, a state of imperturbability, a tranquility of mind that is undisturbed by external events. They understood that while we cannot control the events themselves, we have absolute control over our judgments about those events, and thus our emotional responses. By focusing on this internal control, they cultivated a peace that remained steadfast even in the face of profound adversity. Think about the difference between a calm lake and a turbulent one. A turbulent lake is constantly being stirred by winds and currents, its surface agitated and its depths unclear. A calm lake, however, reflects the sky clearly, its surface serene and its depths undisturbed. Your mind can be like that calm lake. When you practice non-reactivity, you remove the constant external forces that agitate your inner world, allowing your natural state of peace to emerge. This inner peace is not a lack of feeling, it is a freedom from emotional turmoil. You can still feel sadness, joy, or frustration, but these emotions pass through you without leaving lasting scars or derailing your entire day. You experience them, acknowledge them, and then return to your state of calm equilibrium. So how do you build this enduring inner peace? Begin by identifying your sources of external dependency for happiness. Are you constantly checking social media for validation? Are you always waiting for the next big thing to make you feel content? Once you identify these dependencies, consciously reduce your reliance on them. Spend more time in quiet reflection. Practice mindfulness, simply observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Deliberately choose to accept what is, without wishing it were different. Every time you detach from an external outcome and return to your inner center, you are deepening your wellspring of peace. This isn't about escaping the world. It's about finding a sanctuary within yourself that no external force can truly disturb. This is the ultimate freedom and the most profound form of peace. 7. You cultivate true presence in a world filled with endless distractions, where our attention is constantly fragmented by notifications, demands, and an incessant stream of information. True presence is a rare and powerful commodity. We are often mentally elsewhere, reliving past regrets, worrying about future uncertainties, or simply absorbed in the digital ether, rather than fully engaged with the here and now. This constant mental wandering diminishes our ability to truly connect, to genuinely experience life, and to make the most of the present moment. Non-reactivity is a direct pathway to profound presence. When you are not constantly reacting to every external stimulus or internal thought, your attention is freed. You are no longer pulled into the past or future by emotional triggers. Instead, your awareness settles firmly into the present moment, allowing you to fully see, hear, and engage with the reality unfolding before you. The Stoics taught the importance of living in accordance with nature, which includes accepting the reality of the present moment. They understood that true life is lived now, not in some imagined past or future. When you are non-reactive, you are inherently more present because you are not being dragged away by the gravitational pull of emotional impulses. Think about a conversation with someone who is truly present. They listen intently, make eye contact, and respond thoughtfully. You feel heard, seen, and valued in their presence. Compare this to someone who is constantly distracted, checking their phone, or mentally formulating their next reply. The difference is palpable. The truly present person is magnetic, precisely because they offer the rare gift of undivided attention and genuine engagement. This presence extends to your own experience of life. When you are present, you notice the small beauties, the warmth of your coffee, the sunlight on your face, the laughter of a child. You engage more deeply with your work, your hobbies, and your relationships. Life becomes richer, more vivid, and more meaningful, not because circumstances have changed, but because your capacity to experience them fully has expanded. So how do you cultivate this powerful presence? Practice mindful awareness throughout your day. When you're eating, simply eat. When you're walking, simply walk, noticing the sensations. When you're in a conversation, put away distractions and give the other person your full, calm attention. Each time you resist the urge to react or get pulled away by a distraction, you strengthen your capacity for presence. This isn't about forced concentration. It's about a relaxed, open awareness. When you consistently practice non-reactivity, your mind naturally settles into a state of calm presence. You don't just become more attentive, you become more alive. You don't just connect better with others. You connect more deeply with the entirety of your own life. And that profound, unwavering presence is perhaps the most attractive quality of all. We've just uncovered 7 powerful reasons why cultivating detachment and non-reactivity, far from making you cold or distant, actually makes you profoundly magnetic, insightful, and resilient. This isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about mastering them, understanding that your worth isn't dictated by external validation, and that your peace is an internal fortress no one can breach. In a world that constantly pulls you in a million directions, your ability to remain calm, thoughtful, and unreactive is your greatest superpower. It allows you to reclaim your energy, gain unshakable clarity, command deep respect, protect yourself from manipulation, build an enduring inner peace, and cultivate a profound, magnetic presence. If this discussion resonated deeply within you, if it sparked a flicker of recognition or offered a fresh perspective you hadn't considered before, please take a moment to hit the like button right now. Your support genuinely helps this vital wisdom reach more individuals who are earnestly seeking to cultivate their own inner strength. I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. Which specific reason for non-reactivity resonated most profoundly with you today? What challenging situation are you currently navigating where applying one of these principles could make a real difference? Your insights might be precisely what someone else needs to hear, exactly when they need it most. If you know someone who could genuinely benefit from understanding the magnetic power of calm, consider sharing this video with them. And most importantly, if you haven't already, subscribe to StoicCraft. Your profound journey to self-mastery is only just beginning, and there is so much more valuable content, insightful lessons, and practical strategies yet to come, all meticulously designed to help you cultivate a powerful mindset, take absolute control of your life, and become the strongest, most authentic version of yourself. Thank you for being here, for your courage in embracing these truths, and now go forth, radiating calm strength and profound presence.